Welcome to the Record Machine Show podcast. And now, here's your host, James Michael Hollenstein.
We have an exciting episode lined up for you this week featuring an interview with Anthony Caruso from the band ChatterBoxx. ChatterBoxx, a talented group of award-winning songwriters and artists based in the United States, focuses on creating authentic music without the distractions of flashy visuals. Known for their dynamic performances and gender-blending sound. Before we jump into the interview, let us take a moment to listen to their debut single, Mira Mira.
So many times it just seemed right, but it ended up so wrong. And every time I said forever, it never really lasts that long. Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, looking back at me. How come I only see one where two should be? Maybe this time things will change. Before I'm done, won't you talk to me, mirror, mirror, or tell me she's the one? When you came into my life, oh, I said, here we go again. Started singing that old Randy Travis song. I'm gonna love you forever, never, amen. No, mirror, mirror on the wall, looking back at me. How come I only see one where two should be? Maybe this time things will change. Before I'm done, won't you talk to me, mirror, mirror, or tell me she's the one? As I wake, I wipe the sleep out of my eyes. Not sure what's true and what I lies. Mirror, mirror on the wall, looking back at me. How come I only see one where two should be? Maybe this time things will change, but before I'm done, won't you talk to me, mirror, mirror, or tell me she's the one? Or tell me she's the one. Or tell me she's the one. Or tell me she's the one.
You just listened to Mira Mira, the debut single from ChatterBoxx, and I have Anthony Caruso on the line for a chat. Anthony, how you doing?
Jimmy, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Where are you at today?
Well, I'm on my way to my ranch.
Oh, where's that?
It's in Daleville, Alabama. I live in Zephyr Hills, Florida, near Tampa, and I've been pretty much on the road all morning. I have a 169-acre deer farm.
Wow.
High fence and ranch.
Very cool.
I'm one of the few people that music actually paid off for.
That's pretty cool, man.
One of the few indie artists anyway.
Yeah.
It's a shame, man. It's just a shame. It's tough out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
God.
How's the weather there?
Oh, it's nice and sunny, about 80, I don't know, 84, something like that. Going to be 82 or 84.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm going to go hop on my tractor and go get some fields. For my turkey fields, I'm going to plant some chufa. So I got a lot of work to do this next couple days, but it's fun.
That's cool. You know, it's been quite some time since the last time we talked on the air, and since then you've established a new band called ChatterBoxx. Can you talk about the band a little bit and who are the members?
Yeah, the band is comprised of 5 award-winning songwriters and artists, you know, that are just they're people that I've worked with over the years. And, you know, not necessarily did everybody work with each other, but I've worked with each one of them. And you've got Chip Martin from 308 Ghost Train fame, who was the original guitar player and co-producer of 308 Ghost Train. You've got Johnny Zyke, who was the co-producer of the Caruso side of the house before I retired that. You got Gino Joubert, who's a award-winning songwriter, and Laura Lane, who is an award-winning songwriter in herself. So, I mean, it's kind of like Eagle-esque. We're going for a kind of modern-day Eagles feel. So that's kind of where we're starting with, you know, kind of sweet melodies that, you know, stack harmonies, and the stuff we're working on now has got a little more of the Eagles harmonies stacked onto it. But the first song was just, you know, we were ready to go, and I said, let's just throw it out and see what people think. And I've gotten nothing but rave reviews. You know, back in May of 2024, I retired. I walked away and disappeared.
Wow.
I just walked away from the whole thing because in July they inducted me into the Recording Artists Hall of Fame.
Nice.
So I felt like after all the awards, 3 platinum radio singles, 2 gold radio singles, and an induction into the Hall of Fame, I really didn't know whether I could do anything else, Jimmy. I mean, I didn't know there was anything else to really accomplish, and it started to get to be where I'm like, okay, now I need to find something else to be passionate about too. But that's not the way it works, brother. Because 8 months later, or almost a year later,
right? I'd
say 11 months later, here comes a new band.
It's in your blood, man. Yeah. You can't let go of it,
dude. Yeah, it's really, really something, man. I mean, you've interviewed, you know, I've got some really good friends you've interviewed, Corey Coons, you know, and I've got some friends that are really great artists.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And I listen to them and I say, come on, dude, I got to compete with you. I gotta come and throw something out there because you're doing so good. I want to motivate myself and you at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of artists you probably interview that I somehow, some way have either become friends with, because the guys that come on your show are pretty much, you know, up there.
Right.
You know, the guys and gals they're in the higher echelons of the indie field. And I don't know, I just felt like I had a few more. I felt like I had one more round in me, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like I needed to step back in like Foreman did later on in life and just take one more championship.
Yeah, why not? And the band is called ChatterBoxx, and that's with 2 X's. How did you arrive at that name?
Well, it was really Gino Joubert's idea. He came to me and he said, hey, man, he said, Train. He said, I got this. I just want to do this project. Do you want to do it? And I said, well, I'll do it as long as we do it like the Eagles. He said, absolutely. I said, but what are we going to call ourselves? He said, listen, I always wanted to call a band ChatterBoxx with 2 X's. I said, you got it.
That's pretty cool.
That's how easy it is. And then we had Amanda put that little single cover up with 2 guys looking in the mirror and a dummy looking back at them for the mirror. Yeah, because it's kind of like you just can't stop, even though you know you should. But I don't know, because we put the single out and I've got nothing but rave reviews from every DJ I sent it to.
I bet. Now let's talk about that single. Like you said, it's called Mirror Mirror. It's going to be showcased in this podcast. Can you share the inspiration behind the song?
Yeah, it's pretty, I think you know me by now. Everything's kind of real life with a little bit of creative push behind it. But it's about a guy who has failed at love 2 times, which was me, and then found a girl who actually was completely opposite, and you just don't have don't have anything left to do it anymore. If she's not the one, you're done. Yeah, you ever been in that situation where like you're like, I can't do this no more. I can't freaking do this no more. So it's really a song that was, about, praying to God I don't have to ever go through this again. Third time's a charm, hopefully.
Absolutely. Now, what is your method for collaborating with songwriters or lyricists during the creative process, given the band consists of multiple songwriters?
Oh, you got to be really, really tolerant and patient. Guys piss me off all the time.
I bet.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a songwriter who has accolades, you got to quit. You got to get out of your own fucking head. Okay, you got to get out of your own head, Jimmy. You can't, if you're gonna partner with award-winning songwriters, you got to remember you're on a level playing field. And a healthy dose of competition is great, but you can't just shut everybody down. You got to be really open to accepting ideas, even if they rub you a little bit. Let them live. You got to live with them, and you got to have a 24-hour rule. Okay, so if somebody throws something at us and there's a little bit of contention, we wait 24 hours, then we revisit it. Gives you a chance to really process. When you're with award-winning songwriters, sometimes the songs come right out, and sometimes, like What You Gonna Do, which is the next single coming out, took months of kind of not fighting, but disagreements. And a lot of it was me, because I thought I wrote this sweet little melody, and Chip said, man, that shit's too mamby-pamby. And I said, what do you mean mamby-pamby? He said, dude, you're that voice you got's 308 Ghost Train. You can't sing that. You do that, and it's just gonna be ruined. So then I had to sit on it for a month. It took me a month to get over that. But then we came back together, and we wrote it together, and now it's a really cool song.
It definitely is.
So you gotta be open and tolerant. You gotta be honest with yourself. A lot of self-examination, Jimmy. A lot of looking in the mirror. Accountability for yourself has got to be paramount. When you collaborate with award-winning songwriters, man, you got to walk into the room humble.
I bet. Now, you would say those are key elements that would make the collaboration successful, correct? Absolutely.
Listen, you can talk about the Eagles and all their infighting and running through the writing process. But, for us, man, I think we're at a point in our lives where that's just not conducive. So, look, if there's too much push and pull, we got to step back and look at it, because we're at the point in our lives and our careers where we want everything to be the path of least resistance.
Right. How do you decide when a song or a piece of music is finished and ready for the audience?
Well, I guess, the best way to do that is we pass it around amongst ourselves. Everybody says, yeah, I'm good with that. Everybody knows not to overthink a song. Okay. So when they say, that's worthy, we call it worthy. Yeah, it's worthy of letting people listen to it. And then our new rule is, back in January, I invented an AI platform for music consulting called Musicon. And what Musicon is Amy, an automated music industry expert who's been fed 30 years of top level information, strategies, PR, consulting, and And what we decided to do was let Amy and Musicon tell us what to do. Mm-hmm. Amy said we should send the song to radio at least 6 weeks before we put it out on the platforms, so that we could try to build a foundational fan base for the music. So we sent it out to, I don't know, probably 50 radio stations, independent radio stations. And it's gotten rave and stellar reviews, and nobody can buy it yet, but that's okay because we're not ready to put it out on the market yet. Streaming doesn't really pay anything anyway, so it's not really a priority. We're more interested in trying to chart the song and get some fan base built. But Musicon is our music consultant. And since we decided to become the guinea pigs for my baby invention, which, musical PR people charge like $150 to $500 a week. Mm-hmm. And an independent artist can't afford that, Jimmy. So I came up with a solution, and it costs $29.95 a month, and you get top level Warner Brothers, Sony, Universal level advice, strategies, and inroads, access to people and radio and blogs and podcasts that are like the ones that'll actually move your career in the right direction.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's musicon.com, MUSACON, which stands for Musical Artist Consultant. Mm-hmm. And if you go there, you can ask 3 free questions and check Amy out before you sign up. And she's unbelievable. She's also quantum thinking, which means she crawls the web constantly, learning more from herself and from other people. And she's strengthening every day. So she's amazing what she tells you to do and how she tells you to do. It's just unbelievable. So that's
cool.
What ChatterBoxx is doing. Yeah, I mean, so ChatterBoxx has its own musical consultant that, is leading us to success.
Awesome. What is your method for integrating visual components such as music videos or stage design into your musical work? And can we expect a music video for this single?
Well, I'm really not sure yet. If we did something, we probably would do something animated.
That would be cool.
Yeah, because I'm thinking this is kind of Disney-esque.
Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of balls to it. So I see an animated thing, which we don't have anything in the works yet, but I could see that down the road. After we get the EP done, then maybe we'll start doing some visuals. We're really not interested in putting our pictures out there or egos. We're not an ego-driven group, man. We are just about good music. And we want to do like the 70s. We want to go back to the 70s when the album covers, you didn't even know who was in the band.
Yeah, that would be cool.
A little bit of mystery goes a long way.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. As a 16-time award-winning songwriter and Hall of Fame recording artist, what is it like to engage in a craft that not only brings you joy, but also garners such recognition?
It'll put you on your knees, brother. Let me tell you something. I spend a lot of time in prayer, and a lot of time in that prayer includes a lot of time of thanks and gratitude. More than asking, I don't ask much for much anymore. I thank for a lot anymore. So, I'm very, very blessed, and I know that I am. I still see my cohorts and my peers out there, and I know the struggle is real. And when I see what God has given me, I just have to be completely grateful and thankful. And, I got to try to be really, down and level, even keeled. So what it makes me feel like is it's surreal, Jimmy. Sometimes I wake up and have to pinch myself. Did it really happen for me? Mm-hmm. And it did. It's probably one of the most humbling things you could do in life is to have a dream, to work your ass off, to actually make it happen, to struggle like crazy along the way, and then for it to pay off for you in the end.
Yeah, it's got to be fulfilling,
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm at the point where I don't need to do anything else. Like I want to do other things, and I want to do more philanthropy type things now. I want to help people, like I have before. Like last year, I did a lot feeding the homeless and giving people who were poor Christmas and their kids Christmas.
Nice.
Me and Amanda did a lot of that, but that got a little bit old, and it also got a little bit jaded because people are never happy even if you give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we ran across a lot of stuff that made us shake our heads. So we're looking for to put our efforts and our money into the vets, which of course I'm a disabled American vet, and so I do that to help the vets and the senior citizens. And, my farm, I'm into nature. I want to be a good steward of my ranch, and I want to help things grow, and I want to make the animals healthy. And, it's just like, that's where my focuses are right now.
Very cool. Can you share any details about an upcoming album or project? What can the fans expect?
Well, you're probably going to get 5 songs. Right now, there's 5 or 6 written.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get them in 13-week singles. So every 13 weeks, you'll receive another MP3.
Nice.
And then at the end of the 13-week period for the 5 songs, we'll put the whole album together and put it out.
Nice. Will you guys be doing any live shows or anything like that?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't ever say never. But at this point, we are so spread out. It's pretty much a recording project of passion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean if there's a demand, somebody calls us and says, hey, man, we got to have you for our festival or something. I mean, I'm sure we'll probably do it.
Yeah, why not?
You got to remember at this stage, though, when it comes to live shows, the money's got to be right, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Because it costs a lot, man, to travel.
Of course. Definitely does. Where can the audience go to find more information about you guys?
Well, they really can't right now. That's the mystery.
Wow.
I'm hoping that it kind of piques people's agitation to a sense that they start to, reach out to radio stations and say, hey, I want to hear that song. I'm trying to bring a little bit of the old school back. I want them to hear the song on your station, and they can't go listen to it on Spotify, so they got to call. They got to write you.
Nice.
And so you get the play, the spin, we get the listen, and it kind of is a win-win. Spotify has muddied the waters. Apple has muddied the waters. I'm not interested in the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
We're not interested in a website. We're interested in just putting the records out on radio and having people find out what stations they're on, and we do that through social media. Mm-hmm. Once I have all the stations, I'll put out random posts. Listen to this station if you want to hear Mirror Mirror. Listen to these 5 stations or whatever. And so I think that that's a really cool way. It's the complete opposite of what people do.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of loading up songs every 4 weeks and putting a bunch of junk out there that gets lost in a sea of like turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
You got to specifically engage with ChatterBoxx on a level of radio, and you've got to basically you're the gatekeeper, Jimmy. You and a bunch of other radio DJs are the gatekeepers to ChatterBoxx right now.
Yeah.
And I think until I feel like it's starting to, rub people to the point where, they kind of get even pissed off, then maybe we'll talk about putting it out there.
Nice. Now, you mentioned there'll be 5 songs. When is the next one coming out, and what's the title of it?
What You Gonna Do is the next song, and it's coming out in about 11 weeks.
Nice. Very cool. Now, is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about today?
Well, I'd like to reiterate something. I'd like people to go try Musicon for me. If you're an independent artist and you're looking to get ahead in this business and to make and monetize your career like I did, okay, you're going to need something that's affordable, and you need advice at a high level so you can understand the strategies that work across the board and the strategies that you lose money on. You need to know the difference, so you don't spend a lot of money where you don't need to. And that is key. Make your break even as low as possible. Make your monthly nut as low as possible. Put your music out. Okay. Know that the money is in film and TV first and foremost. Okay. And that live shows are second. So you concentrate on those two things. You use MusicCon to help you get, to all the magazines. And of course you gotta have blogs, podcasts, and radio stations. Those three, that's the big three. Okay. Touring, radio stations, blogs and podcasts, and movies and TV and commercials. That's what you got to concentrate on. Amy can help you navigate through all that.
Very cool. Well, Anthony, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today, man. It's great catching up with you. It seems like it's been so long, but once we connect, it's like we pick up right where we left off.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way. That's what kindred souls, dude. Kindred spirits.
Yeah.
We belong in the same room together. We belong in. We're actually dual facilitators.
Right.
What I do helps you to accomplish your dreams, and what you do helps me to accomplish mine. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have a pursed up waiting for them to hear our voice.
Right.
So it's because of you that we exist, and vice versa, because you need music.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a partnership, brother.
Exactly. Well, I want to wish you the best of luck with this EP, and I can't wait to hear more of it when it comes out.
Yeah, and everybody go to musicon.com. That's musacon.com. Check it out. And thank you so much for having me on today. And I'll send you the next single as soon as about a week before it's supposed to be aired. And hopefully you'll like that one.
Oh, I'm sure I will. And you know what we should do? We'll have you back on when you release the whole EP.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. You have a wonderful, blessed Sunday.
All right, you too, brother. You take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's been a blast catching up with Anthony. Just a reminder, ChatterBoxx has only dropped one single so far. So before we wrap things up, let us take a moment to enjoy Mirror, Mirror one more time.
So many times it just seemed right, but it ended up so wrong. And every time I said forever, it never really lasts that long. Two should be. Maybe this time things will change, but before I'm done, won't you talk to me, mirror, mirror, or tell me she's the one. When you came into my life, I said, here we go again. You started singing that old Randy Travis song. I'm gonna love you forever, never, amen. No, mirror, mirror on the wall, looking back at me. How come I only see one where two should be? Maybe this time things will change, but before I'm done, won't you talk to me, mirror, mirror, or tell me she's the one. As I wake, I true and what alright. Mirror, mirror on the wall, looking back at me. Back of my own seat, one where two should be. Maybe this time things will change, but before I'm done, won't you talk to me, mirror, mirror, or tell me she's the one. Or tell me she's the one. Or tell me she's the one. Or tell me she's the one.
The Record Machine Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Howell Productions. All rights reserved. For information regarding distribution or adding this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show.
The Record Machine Show.